So, I would like to cover this topic in following heads. So, at the outset, BP measurement, which is first I would like to remember the inventor of BP measurement. The first man was Stephen Hawes, who successfully measured the blood pressure by cannulating a horse carotid artery with brass pipe. As the picture, as we can decipher from this picture, the method was crude, cumbersome, and invasive. It took around 100 years to invent non-invasive BP measurement tool, that is mercury manometer, and credit goes to Rivaroschi, Italian physician who invented modern mercury manometer. So I would like to start the BP measurement topic with a statement given by Kaplan, who very rightly says the measurement of blood pressure is the clinical procedure of greatest importance that is performed in the slopiest manner. Why? Because the proper measurement of blood pressure took at least 15 to 20 minutes. As the guideline says that at least we have to take 3 readings, and average of all the 3 with the interval of 2 to 3 minutes should be taken, and patients should be refrained from smoking, drinking, tea, coffee, exercise for at least 30 minutes before measurement of the blood pressures, and allow the patient to sit at least for 5 minutes in quiet room. Don't talk in between with the patients. And measurement should be done preferably in sitting position or in supine position. Patient's arm should be fully bared and supported at the level of heart. Measure the blood pressure in both arms at the first visit and use higher of the 2 readings. And if the blood pressure is higher and the patient is in hypertension range, please confirm it 2 to 3 times in a couple of months. So, busy practitioners like most of the practitioners are very busy with the patients, and they are not going to spare 15 to 20 minutes to taking just blood pressures. Although it is very important, and no clinical examination is complete without taking proper blood pressure. So what are the other options? There are 2 options. Best one is ambulatory blood pressure monitoring, and another is home blood pressure monitoring. So ambulatory blood pressure monitoring provides information on the 24-hour average blood pressures. It correlates more closely with the hypertension-related morbidities, and it diagnoses non-dipper. Non-dipper are those blood pressures fall down during sleep, and it dips more than 10% but less than 20% of the diurnal level. If it is less than 10%, they are termed as non-dippers. And if it it falls down more than 20%, then they are termed as exaggerated dippers. There are some patients, particularly obstructive sleep apnea patients, they are reverse dippers. Their nighttime blood pressures increases compared to diurnal. So, ABPM, ambulatory blood pressure monitoring, is quite helpful, particularly in masked hypertension, white coat hypertension, resistant hypertension, and hypotensive symptoms, despite normal office visit blood pressure level. In these situations, it is always better to go for ambulatory blood pressure monitoring. According to European Society of Hypertension, they diagnose hypertension if awake ambulatory blood pressure reading is more than 140/90 mm of mercury, and during sleep if more than 125/165 mm of mercury. So, what are the limitations of ambulatory blood pressure monitoring? It is more expensive than the conventional measurement. The cost of an equipment is around 1.5 lakhs, and per visit it costs around 1,000 to 2,000 in our country. It may cause discomfort because cough inflations occurs even in the night time, and the measurement is not ambulatory per se, because at the time of cough inflations, patients remain in sedentary position. So, what are the other options? For clinicians, if we have doubt and there is variability in BP or levels hypertension, better option is to go for the home blood pressure monitoring. Ask the patient to measure the blood pressure twice a day for a week and took the average of 12 reading. Omit 2 days reading, which might be fallacious. So it is comparable to ambulatory blood pressure monitoring. So prevalence in India is around 30%. Urban populations are more hypertensive compared to rural ones, and the rise of prevalence is steeper in last 50%, more particularly in urban India. So situation is very pathetic in our country, because only less than 50% of even urban Indians are aware of their hypertensive status, and rural are one fourth of the rural population are aware of their hypertensive status. Only 10% of rural populations are under control, and 20% of urban population are under control. So there are so many guidelines, and recent guidelines have raised their threshold and goal of the blood pressure. They agree in the population with less than 60 years of age. All guidelines like JNC 8, European Society of Hypertension, American Hypertension Association, all agreed with the threshold with the patient of less than 60 years of age, that is 140/90. And but they all defined elderly in different way. Like American Society of Hypertension, they divided the subgroup below 80 years and more than 80 years. European Society further subdivided the elderly in two categories between 60 to 79 and more than 80 years of age. Except European Society of Hypertension and Indian Society, all have recommended not to use the beta blocker as the first line drug, and they all agreed to initiate with 2 drugs when hypertension is stage 2 or more, or if the patient is having target organ damage. This algorithm is very simplified form adopted by Indian hypertension guideline. And Indian hypertension guideline have subdivided the with age less than 55 years or more than 55 years. They recommended ACE inhibitor, ARBs or beta blocker, particularly newer third generation beta blocker like nebivolol, carvedilol or labetalol as first line therapy if the patient having compelling indication, or young hypertensive who are having predominant sympathetic symptoms or having coronary artery disease along with. So we can start in younger with either ACE inhibitor or ARB, and elderly older populations more than 55 years with either calcium channel blocker or diuretic. If not controlled with monotherapy, but are you saying something, sir? If not controlled with monotherapy, we can add with either ACE inhibitor or ARB can be either added with calcium channel blocker or diuretic. And please avoid to co-prescribe beta blocker along with diuretic, because it significantly increases the newer onset diabetic populations. And for resistant hypertension, spironolactone is very good choice, because around 25% of resistant hypertension population responds with lower dose of spironolactone. Nowadays, the beta blocker is not being used by many trials as a first line agent. Indian trials have favored chlorthalidone over hydrochlorothiazide due to longer half-life and better mortality benefit with chlorthalidone compared to hydrochlorothiazide. The questionable use of beta blocker came from the two major trials, that is live trial and Ashok trial. During live trial, L-ethanol was inferior to losartan in preventing cardiovascular morbidity and mortality, and during Ashok trial, amlodipine was better than ethanol. So, Kim et al. Has recommended nebivolol as the first line. They recommended that nebivolol can be used. Not even the European Society have recommended that if you have to use beta blocker as a first line, you can choose either of the three, that is nebivolol, labetalol, or carvedilol. Recent trial and their practical implications. The first one is systolic blood pressure intervention trial. They contradict the present recommendation of the guidelines. All the recent guidelines have set the goal of 140 by 90. But in this trial, they have proved that intensive treatment arm, that is systolic blood pressure of less than 120, is better than 140 millimeter of mercury. This trial has been prematurely terminated as the difference was quite significant, and there was 25% lower risk of primary outcome, and the number needed to treat to prevent one primary outcome even was only 61. But these comes with some serious side effects like hypotension and acute kidney injury that was significantly higher in intensive treatment group. So the sprint investigator concluded that overall benefit of more intensive BP lowering exceeds the potential harm by intensive treatment arm. And we have to know the methodology of measuring blood pressure. It is very important because they did the BP measurement in ideal situation with automatic digital machines. They took the average of 3 blood pressures. They put the patients in a quite comfortable room, and there was no clinician in the room to prevent the white coat effect. And the decision were based on the average of the 3 reading. Other studies have shown that this method of BP measurement gives substantial lower reading than with the single office blood pressure measurement. So, if a sprint recommendation is being applied without attention to the proper BP measurement, there might be substantial overtreatment with the higher rate of adverse event that is likely to occur. So, if the sprint trial shows that guideline would change to a stringent target of systolic blood pressure less than 120 millimeter of mercury. They advocate to reduce the pool at threshold of less than 120 millimeter of mercury. But even though in the intensive treatment arm in a sprint trial, the average blood pressure achieved was by more than 120 millimeter of mercury. This likely represents judicious balancing of treating clinicians who tried to approximate the target level of 120 millimeter of mercury goal while avoiding serious side effect with excess polypharmacy. And the beneficial effect might be due to during a sprint trial they used chlorothalidone in 12.5 to 25 milligram per day dose, amlodipine as calcium channel blocker, and beta blocker in patients suffering from CAD. In a sprint trial, the average reduction of blood pressure was around 12 millimeter of mercury, and they had taken the more serious patients with comorbidities. So that might be the reason of getting more benefit in a sprint trial with the intensive treatment group arms. And another study come in 2016 with the whole 3BP trial. This trial was done with the hypothesis that do antihypertensive reduces cardiovascular event among the patients with intermediate cardiovascular disease risk with normal or lower BP. As we all know that we have been taught in our third year era that MR begets MR. Like that, hypertension begets hypertension. So the thought behind this hypothesis was, if we are preventing the hypertension in a pre-hypertensive or in stage 1 hypertension, so we can delay the progression of the hypertension and comorbidities related to hypertension. But there was no significant difference in individual component of outcome, total mortality or new onset of diabetes in HOPE-3 trials. And in this trial, they have used fixed dose of candesartan and hydrochlorothiazide versus placebo. And the average BP reduction was around 6 mm of mercury in this trial only. And the patient was with low or intermediate risk group of patients. So they have shows benefit only in the subgroup with the blood pressure was more than 140 mm of mercury. So this trial contradicts the hypothesis of lower the paper. Lower is better hypothesis, and go with the current recommendation of systolic blood pressure threshold or goal of 140 mm of mercury. Now, special cases like hypertension in diabetes and CKD. A beautiful trial was done in 2010 that was called BP, and this trial was particularly in type 2 diabetes mellitus patients, targeting systolic blood pressure of intensive arm of less than 120 versus 140. They did not find any significant difference in major CV outcomes. So the goal of the therapy in diabetic and CKD patients, chronic kidney disease patients, was same in JNC8 trials. And apart from JNC8 other trials, if the patient is diabetic or chronic kidney disease patients having proteinuria or albuminuria, they reduces the target of less than 130. Even the KDICU have recommended aim is 130 by 80 mm of mercury if albuminuria is present. Chronopharmacology. What is this? This is the study of drug effect in related to the circadian rhythm of the body. So when to take the antihypertensive pill? Which time patients should have to take the antihypertensive pills? It has been clearly mentioned till the Brownwood 8th edition that for the hypertensive patient, first thing in the morning after awakening is to take his or her antihypertensive pills. But contradictory to that thought, that has been removed from the 9th edition. It was by when the MPEG trial, they monitored for 48-hour ambulatory blood pressure monitoring and showed that lower systolic blood pressure with evening dosing, and it lowered the risk of total cardiovascular event with evening dose. And MAPEG trial has recommended that at least one antihypertensive medicine should be taken in evening. And the further trial is ongoing, like time, which will answer these questions more carefully, because it is ongoing trial and it is going to include more than 10,000 of patients. Another trial, ICR trial, is ongoing trial, and it will put further light on the timing or chronopharmacology of antihypertensive medicine, when to take this in morning or in evening. Currently, we are going with the recommendation of Cochrane review. And Cochrane review has recommended that better BP control with bedtime dosing, the clinical significance of which is not known, without a significant difference in overall adverse events of antihypertensive drugs. So to conclude, hypertension remains a condition of public health importance in India and globally, because it is directly related with 12.9% of death worldwide, and methodology to measure accurate BP should be given the due importance, and every clinician should have to take proper time and proper emphasis on taking blood pressure accurately. Ambulatory blood pressure monitoring is a useful tool in certain conditions, particularly in white coat and masked hypertension. Although in recent trials have provided useful information for lowering BP further, usual goal of BP should be followed according to the guidelines presently, and BP goal can be lowered further in some special populations like patients of diabetic mellitus or chronic kidney disease along with proteinuria or albuminuria. Choice of drug for controlling BP can be individualized, and most important thing in hypertension management is to achieve the target or goal of the blood pressure. Because even European Society has recommended that most important thing is first to achieve the goal, then go for the pleiotropic effect or search for that for any hypertensive patients. Even they have recommended that if we are achieving the target blood pressure level like 140/90, the cardiovascular mortality or mortality is not going to be the same with the population or the normal population who is not on anti-hypertensive medication, and they name it as a residual effect of hypertension. So if a person is hypertensive, if he even though he is fully controlled or target, he is having higher risk compared to the normal individual of the same level of blood pressure who is not taking antihypertensive pills. Till more data emerges, evening dosing of antihypertensive can be advised. Thank you.
Any comments, sir?
Where was the controversy?
Controversy was everywhere, sir, because we at present we have at least 6 to 8 guidelines for the hypertension. Without controversies, nobody is interested.
There are more than 16 guidelines.
I'm talking about recent guideline released after
2010.
Yeah.
There are not many guidelines.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that you said in Indian guidelines about the hydrochlorothiazide and all that. Chlorothalidol, you said especially that. But in any trials, only the American trials they propose and they are composing the HCT, hydrochlorothiazide. All other trials, either European or Australian or all other guidelines, they are incorporating more of chlorothalidol. And these days, chlorothalidol has got a superiority over the hydrochlorothiazide, which is both the metabolic components as well as the dose schedules. Because it is almost now proved that half dosing of the CTD, that is chlorothalidol, is equated by the double dose of the hydrochlorothiazide, so that the metabolic consequences which will follow, particularly in the setup of diabetic backgrounds, certainly you are right that the combination of the beta blocker with diuretic should be refrained from using in such cases. You are correct. But as far as all other aspects are concerned, and lastly you said the last one, that preferably the evening dose. The guideline says that if you have to use a single drug, one dose, monotherapy, then it should be preferred in the evening. If you have to use 2 drugs, then it should be separated out, one in the morning and another in the evening. There are many controversies. In many current concepts, you said that two trials, they are already going on. But basically, this is the consensus, that if you use a monotherapy, then evening dosing or bedtime night dose, or if 2 drugs, then they should be separated out to have the better efficacy. Because if we date back in our pharmacological aspects, there is no drug which will have equal efficacy, that means horizontal curve totally in any drug. Even if they act for 24 hours, it is supposed, but you will find out that there is a weaning of period after 16 to 18 hours. So if you give a supplementary drug at 12 hourly differences, then you will be comparing more or less, it will be more or less horizontal. So that is the one phenomenon. So we always tell our juniors that 1 drug, 9, 2 drugs, they can be given at 2 different AM and PM both schedules. So this is one. And what more controversies?
Hope and Sprint.
They have Sprint was Sprint gave the positive things, but the thing is that if you go by the diastolic blood pressure, never give the diastolic below 60.
Yeah.
That is harmful. That has increased and perpetuated the incidences of these CV events.
Yes, sir. But particularly in the patients who are suffering from the CVD or coronary artery
Definitely
disease.
yes. Definitely yes. There it should not be made to come down below 60,
Yeah.
the diastolic one, which was previously left as such, that don't worry about the diastolic, consider only the systolic. That component has gone now, that you have to always consider the diastolic as well,
Yeah.
particularly. And this is again a peculiar situation in ISH, where isolated systolic hypertension, where already the diastolic is on the lower side, 60 or somewhere around below 60 also, then what should be done? So still these things are not very clear.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can have comments on this.
Sir, particularly for isolated systolic hypertension, if the guideline, even guideline and the books like Kaplan has clearly mentioned that if your goal is not achieved, that means if you are in the range systolic blood pressure in the range of 150 to 160 and your diastolic has come down below 60, then it is better to stop at that point. Don't go beyond further.
Dr. Ashok, you had done the excellent job, and I think we must congratulate him for a very nice talk, covering starting from the beginning that how you should measure the BP and how many times. And you know, in the busy outdoors and even this different area, we ignore this simple 200 to 300 outdoor patients, and the most important and simplest way to diagnose blood pressure, we miss it, we don't do it. But, and even that 3 times, not even one time we measure the BP in the OPD, busy OPD. And that is the one of the things that we have to do, because it's so common in India. One of the WHO statistics say that after the age of 25, 1 out of the 3 Indians are hypertensive. Right?
One
so,
out of the 3
three.
world population. Yeah.
1 out of the
World
3.
population, not only India, it is the world figure.
So today's newspaper
It
has
is the world figure.
the news was on the first page of today's newspaper that 20 crores of Indians are suffering from hypertension. 1 out of 4 is hypertensive.
Yeah.
Yes. So large number of them we are not doing in the OPD. OPD we are not measuring. What to talk about the properly
It
measuring.
is not possible.
So it is not possible. We have to train our staff, paramedicals.
Exactly.
There is nothing in that. Every staff can do it. Why to write the clerical job? They should measure the BP. Every patient should be measured, because we are not doing the justice if we do not measure the BP medication. And all parts you have covered very well.
Sir, for that situation, we have an option like home blood pressure monitoring. We can incorporate the patients in the management of hypertension.
But what percentage? How many persons have got the home BP? Very good. It's a large number of patients.
Practically, it is not possible.
Last day we had attended a small talk over hypertension in Bodh Gaya, and Dr. Morganathan was there. He is the president of the Hypertension Society of India. Had been right now he is having so many posts. You think that he had gifted few doctors of Bihar 10 BP instruments each, 10 of Omeron electronics. When I gave it to one of my patients and asked him, the consensus was that you give it to an intelligent patient so that the patient can have a track record of all those persons who are suffering from blood pressure in his or her area, territorial area, right? When I handed over it to one of my patients from a village near Jagdishpur, the patient came back to me after one month. He said कि सर अपना इंस्ट्रूमेंट ये पकड़ो, बड़ा महंगा है, 6 बैटरियां लगती हैं और 50 आदमी का देखते देखते 50 रीडिंग लेते लेते मेरा बैटरी खत्म हो जाता है, आप हमको बैटरी के पैसे दो. So the things are like this only. You are very correct. The thing is that what to talk of the paramedicals. My learned friend said that paramedicals must be trained, and that is the criteria that properly trained paramedics can be a boon. And I will let you know, you come down to my hospital or any hospital of the world and ask the junior interns who have just passed out, half of them they do not know how to record the blood pressure. And half of the doctors who have been practicing for over 2 decades in situations or a place like Bihar in India or anywhere over the world, they have forgotten how to record the blood pressure.
Yes.
So every year, honestly, the European Society or you go to ESC, they will have a class on this, how to record the blood pressure. It was surprising to all of us. Thank you.